Hi, I'm Andrew Halsman of Family Tree Counseling Associates. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in Carmel, Indiana, with over 30 years experience. This video I'm entitling The Codependent Relationship. Before I start talking about the relationship, I'd like to start to talk about codependency. Many people have heard of codependency. It originally comes from working with folks who are addicted. The alcoholic had a significant other or a parent who was very interested in having them survive. The addicted person was ruining their life and possibly ruining the family's life. Very possibly ruining the family's life. So codependency, the name has been given to folks who were seen as helpers and caring and loving, and also in the same place, controlling and, in a sense, full of themselves. A codependent sees himself as knowing the right answer. The person who is the alcoholic or the drug addict or the mentally ill person is seen as needy and unable to take care of themselves, and that may be true in many cases. The difficulty with codependency, of course, is that you're so focused on someone else that you don't see your own needs, you don't take care of yourself. Codependency can occur in any type of relationship. It can occur with friends, it can occur in the workplace, it can occur in the family, of course, and it certainly can occur in a romantic relationship. Codependents put others' needs in front of their own. Codependents try to take care of everyone else, and here are some ways to identify if you're codependent. You walk on eggshells, you live defensively, you feel afraid to confront others, you do not like conflict, you go to many, you avoid that, but you can be passive-aggressive or passive at times, so you just let things go. You tell little white lies. You find ways to kind of pump up what you're doing or avoid conflict again by telling the lies. You blame yourself for others' dissatisfactions. You overprotect unwanted behaviors, again, such as the alcoholic who is laying on the floor and you call in to work and say, well, he's sick today. You get hurt emotionally by others' behavior. You feel used, but consider that you make that as a sacrifice. You fuse with the other person, meaning that you lose yourself in that other person. I think of codependence as a time bomb because codependent behaviors, they build up over time. You keep on giving and you keep on giving and you keep on focusing on someone else, and eventually something breaks inside of you. So I'll see clients who've been in a codependent relationship and they'll come into my office and they've been married 15, 20, 25 years. And the codependent person is just done. They just don't do it anymore. They just don't want to keep on giving. And the other person who's with them, not necessarily an alcoholic or an addicted person, might be a workaholic, might just be a person who is not as in touch with their emotions, because codependents are very in touch with feelings, even though they may not express them very well. They may express them as controlling behaviors or passive-aggressive behaviors. So a codependent will want something that they think that they need or they want, but they won't be direct about it because it's too scary to be direct about it. If you're direct about it, you might have conflict. You might have someone be angry with you. So, like I was saying, when the couple comes into the office and the codependent person is just done, the other person is very surprised. They're very confused. They don't know what to do. Anyway, a codependent relationship is very much based on the one person whose needs are subsumed to the other person and giving and giving and giving. It's a person who is with someone who might be very narcissistic, very magnetic, very strong-willed, very controlling, and that person, the codependent person, is drawn to that type of person. That person feels like safety and like a strong person and a person who they can be with. Codependency, if you're in a codependent relationship, you probably came from a household, a family where someone was codependent, and you role modeled on that codependency. If you are role modeling on that codependency, like your mom's codependency or your dad's codependency, then you have good training to be a codependent and be in a codependent relationship, because you can't have codependency without the other person being the person who's oblivious and emotionally cut off and strong-willed or critical. Sometimes that person is just critical or scary or addicted. So in a codependent relationship, you're coming from a household where there's codependency. You might also be coming from a household where there was abandonment, loss of self, in a sense, because you weren't seen, you weren't cared about in the way that you need to be cared about, and so you had to find a way to get seen and to get heard and to get taken care of. So a codependent might be a person who finds that doing for others gets them attention, gets them love. It's a conditional type of love. Or they might come from a household where their parent was not present for a variety of reasons, whether physically or emotionally, and so they had to become the parent, and they learned how, through acts of service, through doing things, to be loved and to be cared about and to be respected. So codependency it makes sense. It comes from a place where you have adapted and you figured out what you need to do to take care of yourself, but it eventually breaks down. Whether it's from a long-term relationship and just getting frustrated and growing enough to be frustrated with